Hello and welcome to India Today SoSouth. I'm Gautam Shankar. Now, the YSRCP led by Jagan Mohan Reddy, it appears, is still unable to digest its defeat and does not seem to be willing to accept the people's verdict yet. The winds of change were clearly visible almost 3 to 4 months back before the elections itself. But it appears that Jagan, who was basically advised by IPAC, was not in touch with ground reality back then. Now, Jagan seems to be hoping that the alliance will develop cracks and that way it would collapse soon. And that could be pave the way for the party to come back to power again. Now, no one in the party is actually talking of why the people rejected them in an outright manner. There was severe anti incumbency against Jagan, which he seemed to be unaware of. He made several welfare promises that did not have a connect with the people and also caste combinations that sort of backfired this time around. The only solace for Jagan is that they seem to have 14 to 15 MPs in parliament, of which 11 are in Rajya Sabha. So, given the fierce nature of Andhra politics, what will it take for Jagan Mohan Reddy to remain relevant in the state? Senior journalist and political analyst T.S. Sudhir has written about this in an article titled With Power to YSRCP, ceiling fan switched off, hot days beckon Jagan. In this piece, he explains what Jagan needs to do in a very detailed 6 point suggestion. So, to discuss more about this, I'm joined in by the man himself, T.S. Sudhir. Thank you for joining us today on India Today Source also. So, this 6 point plan or suggestions that you have given to Jagan there, could you just elaborate and how you came up with this and why it is important for Jagan to stay relevant in Andhra politics?
Well, and of course, it's very important for Jagan Mohan Reddy, given the fact that he is the principal opposition party in Andhra Pradesh, to stay relevant. But I'll tell you something which was told to me by a senior bureaucrat, let's say about 3 weeks before voting day, towards the end of April. Now, he told me that the welfare schemes which were done by the YSRCP government over 5 years, the only other state where a similar welfare agenda is pursued quite aggressively is Tamil Nadu. And Tamil Nadu has a tendency to switch between governments every 5 years, 2016 being the sole exception in recent years. So he was
Yes.
saying that, is this a pointer that Andhra Pradesh would also follow suit, do something very similar in 2024? And his words came true. And I must tell you that even the most optimistic of TDP supporters and strategists did not expect this kind of a landslide victory. The figures that were told to me by TDP MLA candidates were in the range of 95 to 105. In the wildest of their dreams, nobody expected that they would cross 150. So even they did not see this kind of a momentum which was building up against Jagan Mohan Reddy. I see two reasons for this why many people got it wrong, did not expect that this kind of a landslide victory would be there. I think there was the element of fear, just like in Tamil Nadu, where people during opinion polls, during exit polls, would not really come out and say it openly that, we have voted against this person, because they would always be scared of retribution of some kind. Similarly, in Andhra Pradesh, I think people were a little cagey about exhibiting their political allegiance or political decisions out in the public for anyone, especially to stranger pollsters. That was one thing. The second thing that I see, which really tilted the scales in favor of the TDP alliance, was the Land Titling Act.
Yeah.
The Land Titling Act, the way Naidu and Pawan Kalyan went about it, telling people, showing the land pattada document, saying that, see, there is Jagan Mohan Reddy's photograph on it, and even though the land belongs to you, why should his photograph be on this particular document? Similarly, your land will be taken away. There were IVR calls made to different mobile phone users saying that, your Bhumi is not going to remain your Bhumi if the YSRCP government comes back to power. And given the kind of reputation that many of the lower level functionaries of the YSRCP has in different parts of Andhra Pradesh, where land grabbing also has been heard of from many places, people tended to believe it. And especially when it comes to my land, would I want to trust a party with governance over the next 5 years where my land could be in danger? I think that was the game changer. And Jagan Mohan Reddy personally took 5 days to start responding to these charges. By that time, the momentum had shifted decisively. In fact, I had written a piece on the Land Titling Act saying that this could be pretty well the game changer as far as Andhra Pradesh is concerned. But I must admit that no one admitted that this could be this kind of a game changer, that it could completely go against YSRCP, reducing them to 11 MLAs. Now, as far as where does Jagan Mohan Reddy go from here? I think
Hmm.
he is really having his back to the wall right now. I think there is a reluctance to accept that they have been comprehensively rejected by the people of Andhra
Hmm.
Pradesh, because even during the review meeting, Jagan kept talking about the DBT and all that we did. That whole thing of believing that I put money in your pocket and that should be
Hmm.
reason enough for you to trust me with another 5 years in office, I think
Yeah.
that has been rejected. Because Chandrababu Naidu also, I very clearly remember, in 2018, in the run up to the 2019 elections, also floated a large number of welfare schemes, despite which Jagan Mohan Reddy came to power with 151 MLA seats, assembly seats in 2019. So people are not, okay with saying that, oh, I put your, because the natural corollary is that it's not your money that you're giving us, it's taxpayers' money which you're just giving
Correct.
us. So you're just a postman of a kind. So I think a DBT based governance has been comprehensively rejected. People want it. People do want it, but along with that, they also want jobs, they want infrastructure development, they want development in terms of investment in the form of industries, which can then lead to development. They want a better brand equity for their city, for their town, for their state. And I think over the last 5 years, Telugus in Andhra Pradesh especially felt they saw their neighboring Telugus in Telangana do well,
Yeah.
and gaining from the greater emergence of Hyderabad in terms of branding. And they saw that no, we have nothing, we don't even have a capital city. So there was a sense of feeling left out in national politics. Jagan had 22 MPs, but because Narendra Modi had a clear majority, they could not push them to do anything specifically for Andhra Pradesh. So there was that feeling of being left out in both, in terms of getting investments and also in national politics.
Okay. While talking about staying in relevance here, I also want to quote from your article where point number 6, you talk about why he needs to make up with his sister YS Sharmila Reddy because this does not make for a pretty picture, is what you say. And uh, how crucial is this? Because this turned out to be a very ugly bad sister brother sister battle, and is it even a possibility that they could come together? And why do you feel that this could contribute to the emergence of Jagan once again?
See, the thing is that, initially when Sharmila was talking about their family feud out in the public, as someone told me rather caustically that, oh, Telugus love their soap operas. So instead of watching it on their different Telugu channels, they are now watching it live on news channels. A sister brother fight taking place in the open with the mother not taking sides. But I think over a period of time, it did not show Jagan in a very good light. If you're talking about,
Yeah.
he would come across hugging and embracing different people in Andhra Pradesh, but you're not able to do so with your own sister. I think that kind of went against him. Electorally, it may not have, in terms of, even Sharmila came a poor third in Kadapa Lok Sabha constituency. So it's not as though she gained as a result of attacking Jagan. But overall, when you're talking about someone in the position of a chief minister, the president of one of the mainline parties in the state, you expect a little more of a magnanimous approach, especially towards your own biological sister. That was expected of Jagan. And I think going forward, he needs to, because this kind of what it adds on is the overall image of Jagan being an extremely stubborn kind of person who, once he decides on something, he does not go back from it. That is
Hmm.
not the kind of a leader that people of Andhra Pradesh or any state for that matter really would want. They would want someone
Hmm.
who has a large heart, someone who is able to adjust different points of view. So it cannot be a my way or the highway kind of an approach. So this only added to that image of being very adamant about something, and that did not really help Jagan's overall image. So I do feel that going forward, he needs to get his own house in order, so that, because let's be honest, Sharmila did play a role in the 2019 victory of Jagan Mohan Reddy. To so say,
Yeah.
see, to so to say that, I will not do anything for Sharmila and therefore she can chart her own political course was a little more harsh thing to say. From Jagan's point of view, his perspective was that I do not want to be seen as promoting nepotism of any kind or to create a parallel or a second power center within my family. He did not want to send across that kind of a message, which is why he did not want to encourage a Sharmila being sent to the Rajya Sabha or give her any position within the YSRCP. So both sides have their own points of view, but I'm sure something which can, if they can sit across the table with the mother playing mediator, this can be done. Because see, the problem for Jagan is that unlike Naidu, who made friends with Pawan Kalyan, who fought against him in 2019, said all kinds of things in 2019 during the election campaign, he allied with BJP again about who he had said a lot of things, and BJP had said a lot of things about Naidu in return. If Naidu can make friends, Jagan Mohan Reddy needs to kind of cultivate the habit of making political friends. He needs political friends, and that has to at least start from the family itself. So that is something which I think is necessary in the long run.
Right. From family politics, now shifting focus to assembly as well, because right now the assembly session will begin from June 19th. So from what we gather is that Jagan is not even going to attend the assembly session. There's doubts over that as well. Basically, right now, with the kind of mandate that the NDA has, they have 164 out of 175 MLAs, and out of them, 11 right now are with the YSRCP. So with this figure, they may not even get the leader of opposition status.
They won't.
And with him, if he does not even come up there, because right now he has to complete the formalities as well. So there's talk now, right now, that we're hearing that he may take vote separately in the speaker's chamber. So all of this indicates there's a sense of embarrassment about the kind of mandate he's faced right now. And if he doesn't attend the session, and if he's not even able to play the role of an opposition leader effectively, how big a blow is this for him right now to come out and make the presence of ISRCP stronger, if anything, in the assembly session this time?
Oh, well, I mean, there are going to be challenges. There are going to be big challenges. First of all, to deal with his own bruised ego, because with just 11 MLAs, with just 10 MLAs with him right now, plus Jagan, he will not get the leader of the opposition's post, because for that you need at least 1/10 of the assembly strength, which would translate to about 18 MLAs. So that he would not get. Then he will be subjected to a lot of sharp jibes and barbs from the treasury benches, which he will have to suffer. Already it has started, because photographs and videos of the house that he was constructing at government, apparently at government cost, I'm not very sure about that, at a phenomenal cost in Visakhapatnam, Rishikonda area, have gone viral, which show a very pompous kind of a lifestyle. And on social media, if you just open social media, it is kind of, I mean, there's a lot of trolling happening on that front also. And even, as things as which you would think, which are very minor, as him using the furniture which was bought when he was chief minister at his camp office, he's still using it, as was evident during the meeting of the MPs and senior leaders of the party, because they all go back to what happened during his term, because his party had embarrassed the then former speaker Kodela Shiv Prasad Rao, saying that he's the one who is still using furniture which was bought when he was speaker, and he has taken away furniture from his house. And that eventually ended in Kodela Shiv Prasad Rao dying by suicide, killing himself. So people are constantly reminding of, and with the hashtag of furniture thief Jagan. So things are not going to be very pleasant out here. Things are going to get extremely ugly in Andhra Pradesh, and Jagan will have to deal with it. How well he deals with it, that's going to be a big test. Inside the assembly, outside the assembly. Inside the assembly, of course, he can choose not to attend. That he can always do. Just like Naidu never attended post November 2021. So he can always choose to do that. But is that the best way to do that? Because he will have to bide his time, wait for the government to make mistakes, wait for the honeymoon period to end, and only then hit the road. And even then, 5 years is a long period of time. Plus, he has the second challenge of starting his trial in the CBI cases is going to start from the 19th of June. Then there is a murder case against YS Avinash Reddy. So he has too many fronts on which he has to fight too many battles now.
All right. That was one of the points that I wanted to raise here, Sudhir. Basically, the number of cases right now, there are about 26 cases that are still ongoing. which are pending against Jagan Mohan Reddy. And given the way that Chandrababu Naidu was put in prison and the fierce nature of Andhra politics that we see, uh, he might not just have to be on the defensive. He might have to, try. There's a battle of survival, isn't it? Because he has to see the moves 10 steps ahead of what Naidu could possibly do to end his career. So that way, how do you see this whole situation playing out between in a personal sense, between Naidu and Jagan Mohan Reddy in Andhra Pradesh?
Since it is already in the CBI court, I don't know how much of a role Naidu can play. I remember in 2014, uh, when the TDP came to power, and CM Ramesh, who was a Rajya Sabha MP, and he was still in the Telugu Desam at that time. CM Ramesh, incidentally, is Naidu's neighbor in Hyderabad. CM
Yeah.
Ramesh telling me that, oh, we will send Jagan to jail very fast. I
Hmm.
don't think that works. And Jagan by now would have realized the folly of sending Naidu to jail, because that also went against him with Pawan Kalyan using that opportunity to stitch up an alliance with the TDP. So, all those, if he connects the dots, he will realize that that's where the mistakes actually started happening. Uh, Now the case is in CBI court. During the last 5 years, because he would cite his preoccupation as the chief minister, that he cannot kind of leave the office and come there, attend court regularly. That's why this whole entire trial got delayed. But now that he's no longer chief minister, he's not even the leader of the opposition, so he can't provide any more excuses. So he would have to attend court, and the case would be fast tracked. Now, how fast
Yeah.
a decision comes, a verdict comes, that's going to be extremely significant. uh, he would, I think, from a very political point of view, he would be banking on some kind of a turmoil happening at the national level, because then his four MPs, Lok Sabha MPs, could come into play. So only
Yeah.
in that kind of a scenario, his four Lok Sabha MPs, his 11 Rajya Sabha MPs, if they have some kind of a role to play, and if he can, do something by which his case trial either further gets delayed, or you know, uh, I don't want to preempt, because the case is sub judice, and what could happen in the
Correct.
court obviously will happen. But we have seen over the last 5 years the case trial really getting delayed. So I don't think Naidu personally will have a role to play. But what Naidu and the TDP will do now is to use the trial in the case to further damage the reputation of Jagan Mohan Reddy. And as I said, with that house in Visakhapatnam, that
Hmm.
job has already started, and one can expect that to happen much more in the days and weeks to come.
All right. So the writing seems to be on the wall that Jagan Mohan Reddy will face several challenges just to stay relevant in Andhra Pradesh politics and to make a comeback this time around. And also, I want to finish with a quote here that Sudhir has written in his article that during his campaign, Jagan would urge people to keep TDP bicycle, which was their election symbol, outside the house and dump the Jansena glass in the sink and switch on the ceiling fan. But now that the people have decided to switch off the power to the fan instead, Jagan will have to find ways to beat the heat indeed. So thank you for joining us on this discussion, Sudhir. And
Thank you.
also, we'll connect with you once again for more such topics. Thank you so much.
Thank you.